It's your daily dose of geeky stuff. Weather for Weather Geeks on this Thursday, May the 14th? 14th? Yes, 14th. We're getting set for the weekend, and the weather, of course, a little changeable over the next few days. We'll get to that in just a second. 32 was our low this morning. Not unheard of, certainly, to hit 32 this late in May, but it doesn't happen very often. Here's the list of the number of sub 32 degree lows on record from May 14th through the end of June. We had the most late season cold, if you will, in 2002, with 4 mornings where it dropped to at least 32 degrees during the second half of May and or early June. 4 also in 1956, and as recently as 2 years ago in 2013, we had 3 days from May 14th through the end of the spring where we hit 32 or below. So, again, nothing earth-shattering, or we're not in record territory, anything like that, but a little bit interesting, certainly. We'll talk a little bit about the long range, including the summer outlook here in just a second. Let's focus on the short term. Here's the satellite loop with temperatures and isobars plotted up, isobars being lines of equal pressure. You can analyze a high-pressure zone off to our east this evening. That high-pressure zone is what gave us a nice day today after that chilly start. But as you can see, clouds are increasing from the west. I was just out for dinner and noticed how kind of gloomy it got all of a sudden towards the end of the day today, and that's a precursor of what we have coming for Friday and Saturday. I wouldn't say it's going to be a gloomy day coming up tomorrow, but this increase in clouds will lead to an increased chance of precipitation. Severe weather, that's a threat down in western Texas, parts of the Gulf Coast region as well. Let me put a stop on this, show you the temperatures across the country this evening. There's warmth out in the middle of the country, a cool pocket across the northern plains, and pretty seasonable, typical mid-May weather for much of the East Coast and heading down into the southeast. Now, of course, it's not humid locally, but we do have some higher dew point air off to the west, dew points surging up into the 50s and 60s across the plain states and into the Midwest as well. This more humid air, more moisture-laden air, if you will, is going to come east, especially over the weekend. Not real humid just yet tomorrow, but the weekend will be pretty muggy along with those warm temperatures. All right, so I mentioned we have some raindrops coming our way. Let's break down the chances for some rain as we go out in time here. Let's start with tomorrow morning, of course. Start this off with daybreak. I think at the bus stop and as you head off to work tomorrow, I think we're largely dry. Rain chances won't really increase until we head towards the late morning hours and into the afternoon. Here's a 1 p.m. NAM still not showing a whole lot. I think this is probably a little underdone, but I think there can be a shower around, perhaps even a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. Here's tomorrow afternoon at 4. Again, the NAM model, a little underdone, I suspect here. You look at the GFS, and it has a little bit more activity around the region. Tomorrow's not a washout. We've got a 40% chance in our forecast of precipitation. Just want to get across to you that there is that chance that you get a little rain starting around midday, but some of us will get away dry. And again, I mentioned the chance for a thunderstorm. Here's the CAPE values, a measure of instability. Tomorrow afternoon, we've got a somewhat unstable atmosphere pushing in, so yeah, there could be a rumble of thunder in any of these showers, even though they will be very spotty, very hit or miss in nature. So that's the bottom line for tomorrow, not a washout. Same idea for Saturday, although I do think Saturday is going to be a little wetter than tomorrow. Here's Saturday afternoon, scattering of showers around. Maybe there's a rumble of thunder. I think the atmosphere is plenty unstable. Here's the Cape on Saturday. You got some instability there. We've got a 60% chance in our going forecast for Saturday, so positioning Saturday is a little wetter than tomorrow, and then Sunday a little drier than Saturday. So Saturday out of the next 3 days is probably the most active day. Here's a look at Sunday. You're going to see blotchy green stuff around here, but I do think that the odds overall are a little lower on Sunday of seeing these pop-up showers and storms. But yes, some of us will get wet. It's one of those kind of summertime forecasts this weekend where we can't do much better than, well, there's a chance of rain. I've gotten a lot of questions on social media. Hey, I've got this going on Saturday. Is it going to rain? I got this Friday. Rain or no? And people get frustrated with the classic kind of weather guys dodge, but it's one of those situations where we can't do a whole lot better than 40, 60% chance of rain, because it's going to be real disorganized and spotty in nature, and until it starts popping, we can't say whether or not your backyard is going to get wet. Our ability to forecast is not that good just yet. Hopefully, before my career is over, we'll be able to pinpoint those spotty showers a couple of days in advance a little bit better. All right, so that's the story for the weekend. Now, I do think there's a good chance to get wet on Monday as we head back to work on Monday. Strong cold front about to push through. Here's Monday's map. Low pressure here. Here's our cold front pushing in. A little too early to speculate on severe weather that day, but if we're going to get some stronger storms, I think Monday's most likely day out of the next 5. And I think next week could play out a lot like this week. A wet Monday followed by a cooler and drier pattern for midweek. Here's Tuesday. Strong high pressure zone over parts of Minnesota building in. So that's a cooler, drier air mass. So that's Tuesday. Same idea Wednesday. It's going to be a dry midweek period with that strong high out across the Midwest. So we're going to be dodging raindrops tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. After that, it looks dry for at least a few days. All right, you may have heard pretty good El Nino getting brewing out across the Pacific Basin. This will have an influence on our summer weather to some extent, not a huge extent. We still have a lot of warm water off the coast of North America. Here's our El Nino zone right here. El Nino being warmer than average water temperatures banked up against parts of South America and the Eastern Pacific. So the combination of these factors, we look a lot at the Pacific when we're trying to figure out a seasonal forecast, whether it be winter, spring, or summer. And the combination of those things has us, kind of thinking that this summer is not going to be real notable overall for warmth or precipitation. It may be kind of a real average summer. The climate models are showing that. Here's the latest 7 runs of the climate forecast system model for June, July, August. Notice there's not a real strong signal here in terms of temperatures. Pretty strong warm signal on the west coast, probably cooler than average Texas, parts of the Rockies. This is actually good news if they have kind of a cool, wet summer in some drought-stricken areas in Texas and the Plain States. Unfortunately, it's going to be a dry summer along the west coast. And overall, our precipitation amounts should kind of iron out to be pretty close to average for the summer. Maybe a wet month here and there, a dry month here and there. Overall, the 3 summer months, June, July, August, should be pretty typical. So we'll see how that pans out. All right, we'll see how the weekend forecast pans out. I'll have a full update tonight on 21 News at 11. I thank you once again for watching the Thursday evening weather for Weather Geeks. Have a great night.